Hello, we are Innovative Construction and Design Solutions LLC, or ICDS, located in Guilford, Connecticut. The initial process for control panel design is locating space for panels within the mechanical room or other operator-accessible real estate, which may then dictate our panel size and/or aspect ratio. This can sometimes be a difficult task if space is at a premium. Other situations may limit size to minimize visual obtrusiveness. Once we have determined our limitation in size, if any, we go to the drawing board, in our case AutoCAD, and start to lay out the panel or panels. The panel interior or back panel is laid out to scale to allow us to puzzle piece components together to an optimized design. Most of our panels are a mix of DC and AC voltages and signals, so we configure the entrance locations, components, and wireways such that DC and AC are separate. In cases where they have to come together, we ensure they cross at a 90-degree angle. Another factor in our design process is the location of the installing automation contractors and electricians' wiring locations such that the install is clean, minimizes impact of panel side terminations and components, keeps AC-DC separation, and allows for easy troubleshooting. Heat generating components such as power supplies and PLCs are laid out with manufacturer-required clearances at a minimum. Wire duct is located around the terminals to ensure adequate space for termination and is oversized to accommodate varying types of cables and jacketing. Due to exceptional touch screen technology, we typically only have an operator interface on the exterior of the panel. This is laid out to scale as well as dimension to ensure that the screen is located where the average height operator can see it. For other projects, we have laid out process tubing, control switches, indicator lights, etc. to precise dimensions to be clear and accessible by the operators. For exterior applications using NEMA 4 and 4X enclosures, we clearly locate the conduit penetration locations to prevent moisture intrusion if the connections are not seal tight or lose their seal over time. Panel door mounted components are set plumb and level and are identified with large engraved phenolic labels for clarity. Cabling to door devices are bundled and wired with adequate slack for opening and closing of the door to a minimum of 90 degrees. The wire is usually dressed with wire loom for a clean appearance. Most of our components are DIN rail mounted, excluding some items which are mounted on the back plane, such as transformers, power outlets, disconnect switches, etc. All DIN rail mounted components and terminal block sections are locked in place using end blocks to ensure no movement. In some instances, where the back plane is not enough space to fit all the components for a limited panel size, we can utilize custom side panels. For analog input and output terminals, we utilize tri-level terminal blocks to reduce footprint and to allow for termination of one component or loop at a single terminal block using jumper bars for the 24 VDC and grounds. This minimizes termination time and makes troubleshooting a snap. For digital PLC inputs and outputs, we use prefabricated terminal block and cable assemblies to eliminate terminations at the PLC card. This reduces potential for termination errors. As most of our control panels are small, insertion of the completed back panels into their enclosures is relatively easy with the use of two persons. The panels are locked in place with nuts and washers using a pneumatic wrench. Overall consistency of the panel fabrication is maintained through accurate documentation created in the design process and updated as control panels are assembled. Cleanliness is critical to the longevity of our control panels, and as such we utilize NEMA 12 for dirty indoor applications and NEMA 4 and 4X for outdoor and high moisture applications. For outdoor and high moisture locations, we do not allow any penetrations through the top of the enclosures, since water will always find a way. After all terminations and before a control panel is placed in service, we vacuum and wipe out all dirt and metal filings from the enclosure. When the panel is tested and cleaned, we seal and torque all NEMA 12 and 4 and 4X enclosure clips to ensure no debris enters the panel in the future. Panels that receive external cooling utilize filtered air. At ICDS, all control panels are point-to-point tested before they leave for the job site. Testing is performed by two technicians, first by verifying proper wiring, configuration, and termination, then second by continuity testing through each power and signal circuit. Upon completion of a project, we prepare for the owner a very comprehensive O&M manual in both paper and electronic format. We pride ourselves with this as we provide scaled as-built panel drawings after any changes have been made, in addition to as-built wiring point-to-point diagrams, instrument loop diagrams, PNIDs, etc. At ICDS, we may not be a large panel fabrication shop, but we do take pride in our quality and workmanship. Thank you.